This is awesome! Remember Voltron, you know, giant metal robot, sweet sword? Well, what if I told you there was a franchise with none of the giant robot and none of the sword? Hey, let's be clear off the bat. Zoids exists to make money. Always has, always will. It's a model kit toy line turned anime turned video games. They're like real-life platonic forms, reflections of a reflection of an ideal. But that's fine, Zoids are cool. And more importantly, Zoids are affordable. Whoa. These prices are horrifying, but at least we got the games. And game prices are only horrifying most of the time. So Zoids is all about giant robot animals fighting wars, you know, in the one universe, the one timeline where mankind evolved and thought, hey, those humanity erasing bombs, stupid. Those giant mecha people, the top of the food chain animal, stupid. Giant metal caterpillar. This is the power of science! There are so many Zoids games. So many Zoids games, and most of them are stuck in Japan. That said, most of the Zoids games are reiterations of others, so with a mere 4 games, I think you'll get the gist of the lineup. Let me know in the comments what I forgot, because that's everyone's favorite comment. Let's get a hot drop on the franchise. Zoids Battle Legends is awesome. Of all the games, this one fulfills what I was looking for most. A 3D mech fighter with tons of Zoids, tons of stages, tons of fun. A game where robot animals can kill each other freely and with abandon. So majestic. This came out for the GameCube, but the simple blocky models allow it to look good regardless of the hardware. You've got to appreciate the interesting and varied designs found in the series. I'm serious. They've got a big dumb ape Zoid. They got a big dumb bull Zoid. They got a... dude. Elephant tail gun. Ooh, elephant tail gun! Enemies got you down, no problem. Just whip out your elephant tail gun. Wipe that trash up from behind like lingering feces. With each crazy Zoid comes different weapons that you can swap between, though not all have good weapons. Like the pinnacle of scientific advancement here. Every Zoid has relatively similar abilities otherwise. They can dash with the right stick, do melee attacks. Only some melee attacks suck and others just total the enemy, dude. Holy crap. I just wish there was a quick turn button. Actually catching dashing opponents can be a chore. Unfortunately, like a lot of weird non-competitive brawler type games, the balancing is completely off. I mean, you've seen the best, but really, it gets pretty awful. All the pilots have wildly different stats, making only some seem worthwhile, and the Zoids themselves have absurdly different power levels, kind of scaling the further down the list you go, so at least they're honest about it. Either way, it's one of those games.
Hey, Big Zam!
So whoever you're fighting should pick a similarly powerful model to match yours. Here's a few clips of my favorites. Behold my patented kiting ape dying dumbass strategy, yeah! Yeah, knock him out, yeah! Behold my extendo claw grip. Oh, he's stuck. Yo, blast him! Yeah! No need to fight when you can just outrun the enemy AI into committing self-die. This raptor's hilarious. No guns, no nonsense, just an activatable laser blade. It's like playing Black Ops knife only. Love it. There's even a sniper character. This game has so much potential, dude. A note about the stages. The normal ones are all pretty, suck, but the arena ones, while still peak suck, are pretty neat. I especially like immediately hurling myself to a screaming death. Okay, I won't screw around this time. I got this guy, no problem. Aw, damn it! Aw, Now the game has secret codes to unlock special Zoids ingeniously hidden in the cringy audio test. Let's hear one now.
Brad is taking off. Huh. This is the power of our Geigelos Empire.
Not enough playtime yet?
My technique is first rate.
Aw, yeah, bro. I am a god! Oh, here we go. Gojira v. Gojira. Ooh, I got him on the ropes. I got it in the bag! Time to die, you nickel-plated sissy kaiju! Yeah! Yeah! The major criticism I have of the gameplay is that the Zoids, who all have guns that differ in quality, will maybe shoot it out, but someone's probably getting outgunned. Then the Zoids will move in, and most of the guns are invalidated, and it turns into a dodging, bashing, pissing match. It centralizes the gameplay, it wastes most of the stage. This wouldn't be as big of an issue in 4-person games or if the stages were more condensed, but none of the stages really seem designed for intelligent guerrilla gunning combat, you know? The game rounds itself out with a story mode, mission mode, the usual stuff. I don't know, I loaded up story and there's all these JPEGs talking to each other, and I just can't seem to care. I bet most fans played this one, huh? ZOIDS Legacy is one of the 4 Zoids handheld RPGs, among which is the lone Western installment. It's definitely a game to be played, for sure. So this is an RPG. You get your Zoid, you equip it with weapons, you spend a quarter of your starting wealth for a recolor. Yes, I am that petty. And you grind. But before that, you all gotta talk to everyone in town. Yeah, it's one of those. I like the bar here just bursting with a pack of fucking drunks. Beautiful. You're kidding. You really went that far to get that E rating, guys. Hey, just a reminder, this is a game where you roll around in your undulating mechanical roly-poly mobile and explode Zoids containing people inside of them. Don't use milk like veneer. Don't pretend. Now, this game is probably great. I'm sure it's wonderful, but holy god, it's slow. You've got to do all the normal turn-based RPG fun stuff, but watching the animations for every attack gets so tedious. And dude, we're talking about a game that starts hot with a talk to everyone segment and transitions into a battle to enemies segment where your one attack does no damage but always hits, and your strong move hits 75% of the time, but actually it only hits 25% of the time. I've beaten Bloodborne. I've beaten Union, Knights in the Nightmare. I'm sizing up Ninja Gaiden right now. I am the epic gamer. I can beat anything. Except the second battle of ZOIDS Legacy where I missed my good move 6 times and exploded. Eventually the game turns into a squad battle RPG where you'll have powerful customized Zoids with cool weapons and all colored how you want, and honestly it's probably a great game for fans. I'm alright with mechs, but I'm not really into this, so I think we're gonna move on to something more my speed. Kind of. Soits Assault, the last game to be published in English. Oh boy. Zoids games typically did pretty badly in the West, and I mean, not to be rude, there's still games about model kits, you know? Anime or not, it's a franchise that exists to make money. But that's okay. Great things can come out of developers regardless of the context. And what's frustrating is that this game isn't even horrible. It's just low scope and fairly misunderstood, I think. Zoids Assault saw the franchise under a new lens. It was darker, grittier, way too serious for laser dinosaur robots. But that's okay. It's new. It's different. It's during the reign of Muddy Gun Shoot Man. It's a tactics game, an RPG I guess, but without characters. You control a squad of Zoids, usually against a legion of enemies, and try to outmaneuver them with ingenuity instead of dying an inglorious death in the cockpit of a robotic wolf. I'll grant that the depth of gameplay, I think, is somewhat lacking. It's tactical enough that it feels more like a puzzle game, if that makes sense. A lot of games in this genre tend to be pretty easy, at least right off the bat, and this one just isn't. It's do the right things at the right time or die. The complexity comes from equipable abilities like healing moves or whatever, but more importantly, the passive scanner skill that lets nearby enemies within a certain range attack alongside the active Zoid. Kinda like Yggdra Union, but shitty. The maps will make your brain hurt sometimes and often require full-on defensive play to survive. The game looks beautiful, there's no doubt, except every time you get in a scrap, the game feels the need to show in fully rendered glory your gigantic robot animal pinging away at the target. And since every attack hits like a pin on steel, and your allies are constantly attacking with you, enemies are counterattacking, the enemy's allies are also counterattacking, you're gonna be watching a lot of animations. Again, guys, looks great from this angle, and this angle, and this angle, and how many fucking angles, dude, I get it! Also, please don't throw a noise filter over top everything. It looks ugly. I was surprised by how much customization was available, but they really drip feed it to you, so it takes a while to get interesting. The good news is you can color your Zoids right away, but they don't pop out like those other games. Oh man, but still lots to equip over time. I guess they want to lure you in nice and slow, you know, keep you at a steady pace. Until level 3. You ever been drop kicked so hard you game over on level 3? Come on, man. Apparently the level's notoriously difficult, and while the forums drop the old get good and tell you to stick to the scanner mechanic, some of the advice genuinely makes this game seem overtuned. I guess the game's a bit of a rush job, and it could have used more content overall, but there's something here for the strategically minded Zoids fans. All three of you. Guys! I just got back from Japan, I checked. They still have Zoids. But since Zoids is dead in the West, I brought back this shit. Yeah, it's a Zoids fighting game. Yeah, it's a 3D fighter, even though it plays mostly 2D. Yeah, it's Berserk Führer. You know I'm picking my boy, Berserk Führer, though. Is that demonetizable? Okay, that joke's beaten to death. Now watch me beat these robots to death. This game's so cool, man. Just look. Their animations are so good. I mean, maybe not. Again, they're blocky giants. Any movement that's halfway fast looks convincing, but every hit just slaps. It's a pretty typical fighter, all things considered. You have normal attacks that string together, big dumb super moves, and of course, special attacks. Those are cool because characters tend to get offensive, defensive, and projectile attacks, so characters have a degree of versatility. Smacking people around, walling people out, just blasting them. A ton of the familiar Zoid models are present, though I'm noticing a distinct lack of the pinnacle of scientific advancement. What the f*** game designers. But seriously, the Raptor dude, the Bull dude, the T-Rex dude, the T-Rex. You know, there's something a little disappointing about a lot of fighting games, and that's no matter how competitively viable or well-made the game is, they tend to lack oomph. Here's oomph. Holy shit! Oh yeah, you can pick your horribly unbalanced pilot like the GameCube game. There's my squad. Yo, check it, Blade and Gummy. This game's such a blast. It reminds me of Bloody Roar a little bit with the pseudo 3D fighting, the sparks, the crazy knockbacks. There's a story mode, but it's funny. I can't seem to care. Of course, there's other modes, but the gameplay is always gonna be fighting. Like other games, there's a customization element, but it doesn't seem very fleshed out. Maybe it opens up with more story mode play, but alternative weapons in a fighter just seems like an invitation for imbalance, to be honest. I don't know. But none of those extra bits matter. The gameplay here is fun and engaging to watch. The models are a bit big sometimes, and forgive my lack of vision, I didn't think four-legged beasts could be in a 2D fighter, but that only makes this game that much more surprising. I don't get it. Zoids died out here in the West. Yeah, its games flopped one by one. Yeah, a lot of them aren't super high effort. Yeah, maybe giant robotic animals just aren't popular out here. But how? Gundams are cool, whatever, but everybody likes animals. Psychopaths like animals. Lots of people like animals more than people. Just because they're metal doesn't make them bad. I'm sad this franchise didn't make it. It's not fair. Well, I'm taking a stand. There's a new Zoids game coming out on the Nintendo Switch in Japan, but I'll make a petition to bring it to the US Play Store. With my YouTube clout, I'm sure I'll bring the franchise what it deserves. A renaissance in the web!